Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello everyone, welcome back to Painting Watercolours with me. I hope you'll enjoy this one. It's another view of the Highlands. So I'll give you a quick run round of the colours. We have nickel yellow, raw sienna, burnt umber, Venetian red, French ultramarine and viridian green. These are all paints by Sennelier, and I'm going to take the nickel yellow. It's a bit brighter than Naples yellow. I'm going to bring it across this mountain here, and then I'm going to take some raw sienna on the edges and just pull this through, dropping some in the mountain as well. And I think I'd like a little just in here, taking some blue, burnt umber to make a grey. I do want it on the grey side. This is £140 Winder & Newton watercolour paper. Bring some of this in, and I want a stronger version of that. Just adding some cloud shapes in. Don't worry about the splashes. Always give them a little tickle. Darker shadow here. Just for a bit of movement in the sky, I'm just going to drop some water in. Out the light parts, just drop it in. Just let it push the colour out of the way. Just have some raw sienna in this hill. Little bits of raw sienna in this one. Just getting colours in. We will be glazing over these hills. Venetian red, not too dark on this one, quite pale. Burnt umber in. It's just a mixture of colours that will show through. Put anything in there. So I might pull a little bit more nickel yellow. And then I'm going to leave that to dry. I'm just re-wetting this background hill, the very far one. I've added some sepia to the palette because I forgot to put it in. It's always something. I'm going to take some Venetian red, some ultramarine blue, and I am going to add a little bit of burnt umber to this just to grey it. I want to make this very weak, so I'm just adding water to that. I'm just going to drop this in, allow it to come through the water. And some of the colour that we put in earlier will show through, but I want this relatively really weak. And along this edge, take a little paint off it. Sort of makes the hill disappear, the mountains on the edge. And I'll come to this side of the palette where it's a little stronger, but not much. I'm going to add a little shadow. We're going to do each individual hill separate, just taking any excess water off, and you're going to let that dry. Now that your background hill is dry, you can just re-wet this one, and you can take some of the same colour. We will be strengthening this one up. You can drop this in, and just the same thing again, just allow it to drift. As I come into this yellow here, I want it to pale off, so I'm adding a little, just pulling the paint through. Take some of the paint off the brush. You can see some of the underlying colour showing through. I'm going to make a stronger mix now. French ultramarine with the Venetian red, touch of sepia, touch of water just to check its colour. Just pulling it through. Also put some raw sienna just into this. Take some colour. We could hint at some trees growing up here. I'm just going to take some straightforward Venetian red and we're just going to drop this in. Then we're going to let that dry. I've just re-wet both of these little hillocks here and I'm going to take the rest of this colour and I'm going to put some trees in. I'm just bringing some tops out. Just want to add a little water onto this and just drop it in at the edges, creating a little bit of mist. And into that I'm going to drop some gradient green. I'm going to make this really dark, some sepia, some ultramarine. Darkening it once again. Sepia and French ultramarine. Just giving a little indication of some foliage on these. Some raw sienna. I want to drop this in. A little bit of the red. Just putting marks in really, just to fool your eye. And then I'm just going to let that dry. I've just re-wet the whole of the lake area with some clean water, and it's basically the sky colours now. Nickel titanium yellow. Just hint at it through the trees. Tiny bit of raw sienna in here. French ultramarine with some burnt umber. You can just get this on. And I've just removed the green colour and put it in there in the other palette, part of the palette. Because we'll be using it later. French ultramarine and sepia, just make it a little darker. horizontal strokes. Make it darker in the corner. Just pull the colours together. Then you're going to let that dry. Now that's nice and dry, I'm going to mix up a little bit more of this very powerful dark green. I'm just going to go even a little bit darker. So that's the Viridian green, sepia with some French ultramarine. And I just want to bring some trees into this in the foreground. Take whatever that is in the palette. And what we can do is also put some in, little row of trees here maybe. Pulling the bottoms out, just softening it all in. Once again with the brush. Little bits of a shoreline. Paint in here. Just soften this in. Take some clean water, very clean. The board is set at an angle and the paint should be fixed in now. I'm just going to wet the bottom bit. Bring some of this raw sienna in. Don't want to play with this too much. Bit of the darker colour and we can bring some reflections through. Taking some of the dark green, nice and dark. Just deepening up some of the colour. And then you're going to let that dry. Now that's nice and dry. I just want to turn the board that way. Take a ruler and a craft knife. And I just want to put in some wind streaks just to give some movement in the water. And I just want to keep these straight, otherwise it will bother you. Take a little of the dark paint. Maybe in here we'll have 3 birds. And this is where you get to sign it. You can put a mark around it and frame it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, please click the like button, subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment. All comments are welcome. And I will see you next time. Thank you.